All right, what's up? It is Lip Service. I'm Angela Yee.
I'm Gigi Maguire.
Hey, girl.
I'm
Hey.
Jasmine Brand.
Jordy Jor.
And I'm Kim.
Hey, Kim. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Listen, I told them earlier, I said, when Kim comes, I feel like we need to get all kinds of advice from him.
Oh, yes.
How do you feel about being in that position now where we're looking to you, like,
Advice about what?
manifesting love?
Okay.
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 We'll learning how to listen and take the signs and
learn how to
open
listen.
ourselves up to be able to feel like we can trust.
Yeah.
These are all things that we have to learn.
And we
about.
can manifest it? Is that what you're saying?
Can you manifest?
Yeah.
That's a lot. Can you manifest it? Can you manifest? Do you want to manifest it?
Yes.
I think it's possible.
Manifestation. If you say something and you want it so bad, like not so bad, but if you have to sometimes speak it out loud and say, this is what I want to try to make it happen. Because sometimes we're scared to admit what we want to.
That's true.
I agree.
Can you manifest it? You can manifest that which is meant for you to have if it's in alignment with what God has for you. Just because you speak something out loud don't necessarily make it so.
Okay.
If it's not in alignment with what the truth is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be an NBA player. I want to be a baller. Right? Me speaking that out loud doesn't make it so. When
Within
you're
reason.
talking about love and you're talking about relationship, like for real, like out in the deep of love, it's about it don't start with the other person. Right? The relationship is not just about the other person. The relationship is really is in part, it's about the relationship that you have with yourself.
I'm just thinking about, we saw your love story, right?
Yeah.
And how you met your wife.
Yeah.
And it was at a meet and greet
Yeah.
in Atlanta. What, at that point in your life, do you feel like your slate was clean for that? Were there things that you had to reckon with yourselves? Because, sometimes when you meet somebody, we have like a lot of other things going on and we're not necessarily open to find that. What was your situation like and what did you have to do to get in preparation?
When I met my wife, I wasn't looking. And I had come out of a dysfunctional relationship that had gone on for a long time. And the person that I was in a relationship with, I still have love for her. And she changed, and it forced me to change. And I had to step back and look at the season that I was in my life. And so I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't looking. I stopped. I surrendered to the idea that, maybe I need to just, sit down for a minute. Maybe I need to stop picking them. And I wasn't looking. And my wife, and I can go in, right. And if you've read the book, then I can go on and on about how serendipitous, how divine it was. And it wasn't love at first sight, but it was really something that, she wasn't a fan. And she had never been to a KEM show. Somebody told her to go to the meet and greet, and I've never been the artist who's on stage like, bring her backstage. Bring her backstage. I've never been.
You've never done that.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
I wouldn't view you like that.
You know what I'm saying? I've never done that.
I would be surprised if somebody was like, and then Kim told me.
You know what I'm saying?
Meet me at his hotel.
The security came and got me.
And we took a picture together, and then And as she was walking away, I was trying to talk, and and I'm really an introvert pretending to be an extrovert. And I was trying to I was trying to holler at her without letting anybody around me know that I was trying to holler at her. And we kept in contact. That was in Atlanta. That was in probably November of 2015. And and then we had our first date in January of 2015, New Year's Eve. And it was just
New Year's Eve. Is wild.
It was New Year's Eve. I flew to Atlanta.
Y'all must have been having some good conversations.
Was having good,
Yeah.
And I was just, it's an adage I love. It says when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I was open, right? You say you started open. Be open to, I was open to I was surrendered. And so our first date was New Year's Eve, and we just, and it was just bam, 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 bam.
How did you know that she was the one? How did you know?
Huh? How did I know that she was the one?
Yeah.
I know that she's the one because I married her.
No, how did you know?
Because
You
I
married her. Got it. Okay. At what point did you know she was the one? At what point?
When I knew that I was going to enter into this relationship without looking for an exit strategy.
Okay.
When I knew, I was at, and we have 7 kids between us. The oldest is 30, the youngest is 1. Yes, Lord.
Crazy.
And I was at the oldest daughter's birthday party in Detroit. And because we were, she was in Atlanta and I was in Detroit. And she called me and told me and I stepped out of the party to talk to her, and she said she was coming back from a cruise with her mother, and she told me she was pregnant with our son. And I said okay. Okay. And at that moment it was like, okay, I'm all in.
This is real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like, I love all my kids, but it was like it was markedly the first time she said she was pregnant. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going
Share a life.
I'm going in,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not,
All in.
It wasn't like a movie where you like, well, whose is it?
Or what you want to do.
Yeah.
In the
It was
movie,
none of that.
what you want to do.
It was received with joy.
Yes.
It was
So
like,
you were
okay.
at your oldest daughter's birthday party.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like, okay,
Right.
you know
Right.
what? Then we're doing this. Then I'm going to be all in. I'm not doing
Anything else.
I've been, I have, all of my, I wasn't doing I have relationship with all my kids, and I've had a relationship with all of my kids for all of their life. I was in the room when all of my children were born, 3 different mothers, 4 with one and 5 with, 4 with my wife. And then my wife has a daughter, and then I have 2 daughters from 2 separate relationships.
Okay.
And like, I wasn't doing that again.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time for you to come out in the deep of it and be,
Yeah.
be in the house with the kids, be in the house with your wife, and be, committed to the thing. How did I know? Right? I talk a lot, so you can stop me at any time.
Oh, no.
No, it's
Listening.
no.
We
Right.
like this.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So how did I, I knew because I was going in and I wasn't looking for,
The exit strategy.
I wasn't
love that
looking for a
answer.
way out. What it was that there's no,
There's no what's next.
yeah.
This is
you know
the
what I'm
now,
saying?
this is
Like,
the
this is
next.
it.
Yes.
Was there anything you had to unlearn from past relationships?
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Clean
Right?
slate.
The whole thing. Yeah. I mean, there's, I could go on and on and on. The relationship is, because I made a decision to stay from the top. That means I can't walk out of the room when I don't want to talk. That means I got to stay I have to stay in it through the ups and, you have to stay in it. That was difficult for me. Right? Because up until that point, as a single man, I run everything.
Do what
I
you
don't
want,
right, and I got
when
some
you want.
success. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, dude, look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, no, man, she's not. She's not. You have to listen to what she has to say, and that's like and we only post the good stuff, right? So I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard emotional work for me, having been alone for so long and really having to connect with somebody, not just when it's romantic and when it's pleasant and you're out on the date and we, in the islands or we travel. You have to connect when it's hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then throw kids into it.
Right. Having kids, like you said, your oldest is 30.
Yeah.
What were you like as a parent then? I know you were present in all of their lives.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you have kids when you're younger, there's a lot of things that as a parent, like you don't know that later on in life. Because I
Yeah.
have friends who, had kids when they were younger. And now as they've gotten, those kids are grown and they have younger kids, they're like, man, I don't want to make the mistakes that I made. And
Yeah. And that's the same for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same for everybody, right? Your first kid is, that's the
The guinea pig.
The guinea pig, right? That's the
experiment.
test
The
drive. You
experiment.
know what I'm saying? Right? That's for everybody. But for me, it was with my elder daughter my elder daughters from the other relationships, because I wasn't present. I was in their lives, but they didn't live with me.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was out, I'm out here being chemistry, you know what I'm saying? And so I would compensate for not being there by, materialist, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just, and my oldest daughter, and she's in middle school, so all the parents know you come to the basketball games, and it's it's that the one up under her don't care about it, But I would try to compensate materialistically,
Right.
And to make up for not, I go to their events, but I mean, I'm just not, I'm not. They lived in Ann Arbor, right? And I was in just outside of Detroit in Southfield. So, yeah. So it's definitely, and now with the kids in the house, it's a whole nother thing.
It's a whole nother thing.
It's a whole nother thing, right? And it's,
Did your oldest read what did they think about the memoir? And did it help them understand their father more? Because I don't know, I don't have conversations like with my parents about
Yeah.
a lot of things.
yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff I don't know. My parents are crazy.
Yeah. So are mine.
Yeah, so I don't have like, if they wrote a memoir, I'm sure be shocked about a lot of things
Yeah.
that I've never heard them tell before. Like Jordan, I know you're very close with your father, so I would imagine you know a lot of stories
much.
and too much.
Too much things I wish I
So
didn't know.
what did they think?
My older daughter knew most of it. I think it was when the book came out, Layla was 13. She was 14. Layla was 13 or 14. It was hardest for her. She was pissed.
Did you have conversations beforehand, or did you about what certain?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. I didn't have conversations beforehand. And I don't know. And if I had to do it over again, I don't know. And I don't know, because it's a lot, because you're telling the story. You're not just telling. I wasn't just telling my story. I was telling other people's story
Your
too.
mom.
But I was keeping them. But they was here though.
Right,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I was
Yeah.
never disparaging. I never I've always I take the hits in my relationship. Because I know y'all think it's about be like, I live with me. So I right, every day I can't get away from it. You know what I'm saying? But I only told what I thought was my darkness in the relationship. I put them in the light. And when you got kids, man, like even when we were together and it wasn't good, I knew that my kid was going home with her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a mature way to think, because a lot of people don't
And
think
every
that.
time she look at her, she see you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always tried to be, now we might fight like cats and dogs when we together, but with the kid, it was like, I'm trying to keep, but so Layla's 13, 14 years old when the book came out, and she's highly, highly emotionally intelligent. Like, dude, you having grown folks conversations with this 13-year-old. Yeah. So she was, I think we've come through the other side of it, but it was,
Had
it
you
was a lot.
ever been engaged before?
Yes. I was engaged before.
Okay. Well, made it happen this time.
Yeah. I was engaged before, but I wasn't going to I wasn't going to get married.
I think about a song like "I Can't Stop Loving You."
That's exactly. Yeah. It's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me. You think you can make yourself not love somebody?
Huh.
That's interesting.
Can you make yourself not love
You
somebody?
know how you know someone's not good for you, and like you said, it's dysfunctional. Can you make yourself, like, force yourself to not love somebody anymore?
I think with time.
Mm-hmm.
That's my answer.
I don't know about make yourself, but with time, things do change.
Yeah.
As your life changes and other people come into your life, it's kind of like you forget. It's like a replacement, kind of those feelings.
Right, but it's not. If you are, can you make yourself love them?
Fall out of love or stop loving, she said.
Can you make yourself stop loving them?
Yeah.
someone. Yeah.
Like if you're together, you know how sometimes you just keep going back.
Hmm. Like it's a cycle.
Yes,
Yeah, I
and
wrote a
you
song
know
about
this
it called
isn't
Find Your
going
Way.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Find your way. We're talking about like, here we
How'd
go.
you find your way back?
Yeah.
Can you stop? You can stop if you can stop if you get honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can stop if you get honest with yourself, you can stop. If you get on, and it doesn't mean you don't have to stop loving them. You're not going to stop. You can still, like my past, I still have my mothers of my children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right? So that love has changed. You can stop. You don't have to stop loving them, but we can't do relationship like this.
Yeah.
If we are growing and we
But
are
in love and loving someone is two
In
different
love.
things,
Very different.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
in love and loving. So what you said, stop love. Can you stop loving somebody?
Yeah, like make your, if you're just, because a lot of times we end up in these cycles and it's just like, I just love him so much. Like,
But you have to, but then, but you have to ask yourself if it's this toxic, is this love? If it's this toxic, if it's this, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, if it's like, is this what it is? Is this what it is? Is this what love is?
Right.
Is this really what it is? If me being in relationship with you is detrimental to me,
Can't be love.
you got to put
Right.
yourself first.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's not love. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying this is how we live it.
Yeah. Maybe it's rooted in something else. Maybe
Right.
we think it's love, but it's
Is
rooted
this
in
what it is?
It's rooted in something else.
Is this really what love is?
right.
You
Yeah,
know?
I think there's a level of decision you can make. I don't know if you can force yourself to stop being in love with someone, but you can make different choices to kind of ease out of that, to give yourself the time to fall out of love with somebody.
Or if we're going to be, okay, if it's this toxic and we are in love, then is one of us or both of us willing to do the work to change this thing
Yeah.
and make it go this way?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to be together, then we got to,
Fix it.
you willing to do that work with me? Yeah, then let's ease on down the road, right? Right? But I mean, but if it's, if it's toxic, right? That's I think that's something else.
How does it feel to, I told you I was in Detroit when you were there introducing your new dance, the line dance for the for the new single. which I want to tell you had the whole city before you even got there. Like
Yeah.
I was there for a couple of days and everybody kept being like, so KEM is going to be here. So we're going to be outside. So we got to go to this concert. It was a very active weekend too. And now you're independent. You have your own label. So that has to be a good feeling to have left your label Motown on good terms.
Yeah.
Returned back to being independent, but not just returned back, but made a huge splash doing things the way that you want to do them.
Yeah.
What made you say, because you did still have a good relationship with Motown, it's time for me to just step back out?
Yeah, because Motown, the label had been in transition for years. Ethiopia was run. I've been there.
Oh, yeah.
I've been there through. Kadar was there when I got there. Kadar Massenberg, Sylvia Rohn, and then Ethiopia, and so Ethiopia was gone, and then they were just making a lot of changes, and it wasn't. It was they were in transition, and so was I. I've been doing this 23 years, and the landscape of the music industry, there's been a sea change in the industry, how people consume music, versus when I started, the social media aspect of the game, the streaming aspect of the game. And it's like, well, how do I want to move forward in this season of my life? After 23 years, I have a strong catalog. I have, publishing, and it's like, well, I need to be able to move the way that I want to move when I want to move, which I had creative control of the moment, but there was no infrastructure. If I wanted to release at the time that we were making the decision, and it was something that people had been trying to get me to do for years, how to, they've been trying to get me to do it. And if I wanted to release, and I was sitting around thinking, okay, I want to release some music next year, and how am I going to do that if the label is, and I can't wait, on the label, or I want to put a video up, and I want to put a video up. We had a video ready to go for a song a while back, and then the publisher and the label are fighting with each other, and so they can't put the. It's like, dude, I need to be able to move the way that I want to move, and put music out the way that I want to put music out. I'm not tied. I'm going to continue to make albums, but I'm not tied to making an album. If I got something hot, I can put it out right now. We got the infrastructure, enlisted the team of industry professionals. I don't have a manager. I sit at the head of a table, and and we throw everything on the table, and we make decisions, and we execute. And today, right now, in this moment, it's working out pretty good.
And if you want a DJ, you have one at home.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? Well, everybody in my house works. Right?
I know that's right.
Right? Yeah. So it's good. It felt good to be in Detroit, and to be able to do that at home. The love of Detroit for me is really.
Oh my! I mean,
They
when I
love
tell you,
I don't take
love
it for
you.
granted.
They love you.
Shout out to my girl Sharon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
We love Sharon.
I heard out there because she just kept being like, "Cam this, Cam that." She would not like. I was like, "Come on, Sharon, let's go." Like, she loves you
They
so
love
much,
you.
but
Nothing but
all
love.
of Detroit
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
When I watched the news and I saw everybody doing a new dance, it was like, Cam is about to introduce a new dance. We got to make sure we're ready for it. So that's it's got to feel good to have that hometown support always.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nothing happens without. I mean, boy, I'm not sitting here, without the love of Detroit. That first album, Chemistry, was built on the love of Detroit.
And that you hit the ground with that. That was like grassroots.
Yeah.
Just going door to door, like barbershops,
Passing
all of
out
that.
CDs. Yeah. Yeah.
Remember
What?
CDs?
Yeah,
right?
remember CDs, right?
What a grind that was.
But the thing is like now as an independent, if that's how my fans you want a CD, I'll give you a CD.
I know that's
Okay.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
press
I'll
on that
give
for you
you
real
I'll
quick.
give
Hold
you a
on, let me
vinyl.
burn the
However
CD.
you want it.
Yeah.
I got you. I got
However
you.
you want it.
You know what
I
I'm
got
saying? Yeah.
Listen, so being that you met your wife at a at the meet and greet, like you said, she wasn't necessarily came to the concert. Has anybody ever said anything crazy to you, like people that came there, women, to try to like, I'm sure you've heard crazy things before.
What? Like what?
Like
Like
shoot
at a
their
meet
shot
great.
kind of thing?
Yeah,
Like trying
like
to talk
women
to
trying
them,
to
like
come on
trying
to
to
you.
flirt and stuff? Okay.
Trying to shoot their shot.
Yeah.
What's like the craziest
Tell us
thing?
more. Tell us
Yeah.
more.
No, I don't really, I mean, I think the most You know, the most I get is like I'm you my husband.
Okay.
You know,
God
I've
told
never,
them,
you know,
Yeah.
my fans are not.
That's as crazy as it gets.
Yeah, it ain't like, you know.
What about a stalker? You ever had stalkers?
Yeah,
That's
That's not
That's
cool.
scary.
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Or
scary.
people who are just. I don't know that she's. I don't. You know, she's not. You know, and I probably shouldn't even be giving her any like. But she's just not somebody who's following me around, but somebody who's digitally like a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you gotta like this, like you know, you see a lot of stuff like this right here, dude. You got
gotta
to, yeah,
Yeah.
right. Keep your pistol on you.
When did you
You definitely.
I had somebody. I've had some really awful.
I know you have. I've
situations.
been around, yeah.
Sheesh. I had somebody that was like posting my parents, and like it was in a coffin. Like I'm gonna kill your parents. Posting their addresses. You know everything. I had to like get a restraining order, find out who it was, and it's a hard process to find out who it is online. You have to like get the police have to get a
IP address.
Yeah, they have to do all of that. But in order to even be able to get that, you know, they have to get like a
Warrant.
like a search warrant or whatever to be able to pull that information.
Yeah,
And yeah, whew. When I tell you, I was stressed.
the scary
Yeah,
times
that's a
we're
lot.
living in.
Yeah,
When you get your family
and
involved.
especially you know sometimes you can't even post where you're gonna be because you don't want people to know that you're not gonna be at home or that you're traveling. But
Right.
then, as a public person, you have to post.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be here. Come and join me.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so social media definitely a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
You know, DMs exist that we can slide into. Now, what do you think about online dating? Not for you, but in
Yeah.
general, like, because you know people have different views of it.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, like, what are your thoughts about if somebody was like, "I'm trying to find somebody. You think I should try online dating?"
I don't have you know, I don't have an opinion on it really. I mean, if you meet if that's how you meet your person and it's working for you, then it's, you know, then it's all good. You can meet somebody anywhere.
Because, you know, I had Jordan send an invite to one of my friends to
Oh,
this
yeah.
dating site, and so it's been interesting.
Has she gone on a date yet?
She said there's like a lot of white guys on there,
Yep.
and
That's true.
and she said it's very hard to like date black guys on these sites for some reason.
Yeah, that would be real complicated for me.
Oh, because people know
Online dating. I mean, it's I mean, not even as, you know, I mean, that's,
but also
you know,
that's
Yeah.
who you
Yeah.
are.
that's a lot.
Like, hi,
I mean,
I'm
not
Kim,
even
and
as
I
I
like-
mean, just as a person on the outside looking in. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, that's a lot.
I mean, it's just like meeting someone in person, but virtually, right?
And I guess it's also, you know, depending on, I mean, and you know, in the younger generation, it's a different, you know,
Yeah.
it's a different time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, these, you know, people today are, you know, they're in their phones, you know, they live in their phones. So I guess anything, I mean, you know, if you meet somebody who's sends you a message on social media,
That's the
you
same
know,
thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kind of.
you just don't know who, I mean, how do you, I mean, it's just too much, it's too much going on, man. How do you know who's who and like what's what?
But you also don't know when you meet somebody in person.
Right.
You also don't know, but at least you, right?
Visually,
energy,
They right there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the person.
Right?
And this is you. Yeah.
You can
yeah,
see
yeah.
if there's
No
instant
catfishing.
chemistry.
Yeah, anybody,
the
anybody
vibe.
can lie
Yeah.
to you, right?
The
But at
energy.
least I can,
You can see
you
in
know,
person,
right?
in real
Oh,
life.
I'm glad you said "Lie to Me" because you know we love that song.
Yeah.
And is it ever okay in a relationship to lie? Now, on the way here, I was telling Jasmine, I was like, I want my boyfriend to tell me that I'm getting fat because we were having this conversation.
Yeah.
Because
I wanted-
because someone I'm dating said they don't really want me to gain weight. And
Yeah.
and then we started talking about
And I was like, I wish my boyfriend would be like, Angela, you are getting fat. Like, we have to do something about this.
and I'm appalled that she wants somebody to
Yeah,
say that
'cause-
to her. Not somebody, her man.
Right. If you're talking about, and just because I don't think, is it okay to lie in your relationship? I would say no. That don't mean that people don't do it, but you got to be like, you have to, and not just in a relationship, dude. You have to want to know the truth. You have to want. I want to know what you think about me.
Do you want to know the truth at all times?
I want to know what I want to know. No, I don't want to know.
Okay.
I don't want to know the truth at all time, but I want to know.
But what does that mean?
Don't have me out here looking crazy.
Okay, that's what Angie's saying too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
you want to know
Don't
when
have
you
me out here
ask.
looking crazy.
When you want to know if I ask you, then I want you to tell me the truth. right?
No, I want you to tell me.
I
even
want
if
you to
don't-
tell me.
Yeah, I want to know.
I
And
don't
Like,
like the
this is
unsolicited
somebody she's
opinion.
talking about spending
I
your
like
life
that.
with, and somebody, this is your ride or die, and they can't say what they need to say to you. That's a problem.
Well, I don't think he feels like that. I think that he loves you the way you are. Like I think he's like he's
Yeah,
like.
but-
And there's that, and then
you can say that too, but you also be like, sis, you sliding. Like,
But you can. But the thing is, Ange is aware when her body changes.
yeah.
We
But I-
all are.
So
I
why do you
think-
need him to tell you?
because I think that'll help me more.
Motivate
That's,
you.
Yeah.
that was my point to her. Like, if you know
I
this
like,
is happening,
you know, critiques. Like, let's just say you had an off night on stage,
Yeah.
right? And you know, you ask your wife, was it really bad? And it was, but wouldn't
Yeah.
you rather she be like, no, baby, it was, you know, it's not like what you know, but it was fine.
I want her to say, you're right. Well, here's the thing. Well, that's a bad example, right?
That's a bad
example.
Because if I have an off night, I know it's off.
you're
Right,
aware.
But
Right.
you
And if
still
you
wanna
tell me
hear-
that, you tell me that it was okay, that's a problem. Because I already know that it was. Don't even
So y'all feel the same.
don't even say
Yeah.
that to me.
Yeah. Because look, what if you were like, well, did anybody notice? And she knows people were like,
Right.
Kim, yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't
Yeah.
sounding like, what's going on? But you don't want her to tell you what people, like if people said that. Would you? You
yeah,
would?
she's pulling my coattails, you know. And she'll ask me, you know, can I tell you something? You know.
As soon as somebody,
my stomach would be
as soon
like,
as somebody
that.
says that,
Can I tell you
Giving
something?
back.
you know it's
news.
not going to be good.
And you don't want to. I mean, and just because it's not,
Can I tell you something?
we have to be able to say and receive the hard things.
Yeah.
I
know,
mean,
ain't that terrible?
Yeah.
It's
You
uncomfortable.
got to. I mean, yeah, but uncomfortable. That's where the growth is.
That is.
I do
It don't
wanna-
feel.
I
It
wanna
doesn't
hear
feel
it,
good
though.
though. Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
And,
though.
but what about this? Do you want to hear when you're wrong? Like, because sometimes you vent to somebody and you just want to vent,
Yeah.
but do you want to hear, well, you were
Well,
wrong in
maybe
that
you
situation?
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can let you vent. Do I want to hear that do I want to hear? Yeah. Do I want to hear that I'm wrong? No, I don't. I mean, do I want to hear that I'm wrong? I would like to think that I want to hear when I'm wrong, but like when if I'm just in the heat of a thing, yes, that's, yeah.
Just let me vent.
Just let me vent. But I'm gonna have to circle back. But I have to circle back around,
Right.
Which
right?
is, I think it's proper. I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could be venting and I know I'm wrong.
But just let me get
I
this
know.
off.
But
Let
I
me
know
get this off.
everything. I know.
Don't even tell
I
me.
know that I'm out of order.
Just let me get it
I
off.
know while it's happening. I know that I got to come back. I'm gonna have to
what?
come back around and deal with this in the proper
Yeah.
way. But like in the moment, it's just
Let me do me.
yeah.
Now, you performed at your own wedding too, right?
Yes.
That's can you
Right.
imagine how amazing that is?
She didn't know.
I mean, that is so dope.
She thought it was gonna be Ribbon in the Sky. That's what was on the thing. But I sang Share My Life. Yeah.
How beautiful is that?
Were you nervous?
No.
Okay.
Not.
You never know. It could be.
Nah.
And that's
I
where all
was
your family
good.
and friends and
Yeah.
her family and friends and
Yeah.
everybody right there.
Yeah.
That's special.
Yeah.
What can we expect as far as new music? We've heard "Give My Love."
Give My Love. Rock With Me is the next single. It's actually it's dropping. I don't know when this airs, but it's dropping on Friday. The next ballad. Give My Love. We was a digital streaming release. Rock With Me. We're swinging for the fences.
Okay, CEO.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're I'm really, really excited about the new music. I'm in a good creative space, doing a jazz project later this year with Robert Glasper,
Wow, that's amazing.
paying tribute to Al Jarreau is Al Jarreau's a jazz singer, and he used to, every time I saw him, when I first came out, people compared me to Al Jarreau. And over the years of doing shows, like I would see him and we'd do shows together, and he would always say we should do a song, we should do an album together called Alchemy. And,
Okay, that's
right,
that's clever,
crazy.
right?
And this and one of my biggest musical regrets is that we never got a chance to like work together. So I'm gonna do a project called Alchemy with
Oh, it's like a tribute to Al
with a
Jarreau.
few Al Jarreau songs and some
Some
jazz
original music.
versions of my catalog and some original music too.
Look
That's
at that. You can do
amazing.
whatever you want, and then you
Yeah,
can
whatever.
And what I'm also hearing is re-recording things. You
Yeah.
know, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
logistically, as far as like being able to release stuff but re-recorded?
Yeah, I think they were telling me there was a clause like I have to wait a period of time before I re-record, but I don't know that I would, you know.
It doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, my catalog's making money, so it's
I know
you
that's
know.
right.
It is what it is. Right.
Like you own your masters, like no, I didn't sign a deal where I owned my masters, but I still make money on the masters, and going forward, I own the masters. So it's you know,
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know that I would, you know,
I mean, people think about those things
Yeah.
though too. We see that because when you think about how much money the label makes and then
Yeah.
how much money they make and you make in comparison,
Yeah.
sometimes it
Yeah.
feels like, let me just go on ahead and re-record this and tell people to stream this. So
yeah,
you
but
know-
you can't. I mean, yeah, I get it. You know, I get it. You know, but there's those, you know, those records are, that's what it was.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I could re-record it, you know, but if I re-record Love Calls,
Oof.
it ain't gonna do what the original's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So leave well enough alone.
Okay. But if you did it
I could
as
still I could still re-record and like I'll take those checks.
but it,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But I
If
mean,
you could
it's
do
not
it as a
gonna-
jazz version too,
Yeah.
though,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
do.
that's
Bam.
what I'm
There you go.
saying.
There
Or
you go.
live.
Bam.
Yeah,
Bam.
you did a
version.
live.
We did a live,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How important is money to you? Because I think about what you've been through.
Yeah.
You know, being in a dark space and then being able to come out of that. What is your relationship with money? Does it make you?
It doesn't make me what?
Does it make you feel like, because some of us come from a mindset of you don't know if it's going to be gone, or it could make you do the opposite and feel like it's not that important.
That's a lot. My relationship with money is a dance because I will not compromise. All money ain't good money. I will not compromise my values just to get a check. I don't work for money. I work because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and money is a benefit that comes. The other side of that is no, it ain't never enough, right? And whether or not I can have, whether the bank account is fat or whether it's lean, it's always, anxiety
made.
around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've never not had enough.
Okay.
I got more than I've never not had enough. I've never not, right? It's always been okay. It's always been okay. So what I'm doing, my job is not my job is not my source. God is my source. My job is to come out here and to create, and I'm always taken care of. But it's a dance. It's a dance. I like nice things. I like to spend money. I save money. I give money. It's a dance. And if somebody gets knows how to check all the boxes on that. And I know there are a lot of books on it, and there's a lot of information on it.
Right.
And I think, and maybe the dance is where you're supposed to be.
Right.
Right. Maybe the dance is where you're supposed
It's
to
an
be.
ongoing relationship
it's
that's
like,
going to morph and change. And
You need to pay attention. It's like, I'm afraid I'm gonna be homeless again. It's like, dude, you've been making records for 23 years. What are you talking about?
but a lot of us grow up
Right.
with a scarcity. They call it like a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's
That's how I
like,
am.
yeah, where sometimes there's people who are literally like, I will not have a mortgage because I'm scared that something could potentially happen.
Yeah.
Or we're always scared that we could lose it all. And
Yeah.
there's certain, we might hold on to things and not want to invest and not take a risk.
Yeah.
There's just different ways that we deal with money. And a lot of that is based on what we've learned from our past experiences.
Yeah.
And from our parents too, because sometimes our parents, how they dealt with money can be like traumatizing for us too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a work in progress. Yeah.
How did you decide that this was the time to put out your memoir? Because I know that's never an easy decision.
Yeah.
And I know that was, and I know your mother and yourself had like great conversations, right? For this to come out and for this to happen. And she was supportive. But how did you know that this was the time?
It was at the time that the memoir, at the time that the book came out was probably 20 years at Motown.
Okay.
And it was a good, and I'd been talking about my co-author, David Ritz. I had like actually met him like during the first album where I was out in LA with him talking about doing a book. It's like, dude, you ain't, you ain't done nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? Just got a story, but like,
Make
just put some,
accomplishments, yeah.
So 20 years was a good, it was a good place. I think it was the exact right time. Writing love songs for 20 years and not, and now, and at that time, like being married, being in a, being married, it was good perspective. It was the right time for the first book. Yeah.
Oh, first. So there's going to be a second.
I think there'll be another one.
Yeah, this is a new chapter right now.
The story continues.
Yeah, what's the would you like to expand upon what the second book is going to be about?
I don't know.
Okay. But you're not done.
He's still living it.
Yeah. I have this. Well, yeah, I don't want to.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
we want to hear it.
But
Don't
yeah,
do that.
No, I can't. No, because right. Then I give it away.
The story continues.
Right? And
That's
somebody
it.
does
Still
right?
being lived.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Was it scary for you to put that out?
Not from the sense like I know my story and I've done the work of going through all that stuff and processing all that stuff. I think the most uncomfortable thing about it was, again, like I was telling other people's stories,
Right.
and and I still, and I didn't know how, and still don't know in a lot of cases, like how it sits with certain people, but resonate. It's like, but I told,
Right.
but I
Your
told the truth,
Yeah.
And took the high road in doing it. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Would you, Gigi, because you've been telling a lot about yourself lately. She actually narrated and was one of the producers for the Magic City docuseries
Okay.
on Stars. You think you're going to do your book too, right?
Yes, I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you have been working on it. I was
I
like,
know.
what happened?
It's still being worked on.
How do you decide like what to, because I'm sure there's things that are interesting that you have to, or that you choose to leave out.
Yeah. We gotta protect the innocent parties, even though they may have been a part of the story. I do plan to tell a lot of the stories without divulging who they're actually about.
Okay,
Maybe
you gotta
give
give it a fake
names
name.
Yeah. Because, for one, it's a secret society. All we ask is trust. And for two, I might be telling my truth, but I don't want someone else's life and or relationship to be affected by what happened years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
In our past.
Right. Huh. People always talk about how the music business is such a crazy place.
Yeah.
But it feels like you've managed to avoid a lot of that,
Yeah.
and just kind of mind your business.
Yeah. I mean, I had the party side of my life early. I'm really I'm a square. There's no after parties.
L7,
Like off the
right.
show, dude, I'm back at the whole, like, a quiet life. I don't,
A great quiet life.
quiet life.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't need a whole lot of excitement, a whole lot of drama, a whole lot of, I'm just not there. It doesn't, and like, when
I'm with you.
And when you change, that,
Please.
when you change that, those things don't even, it's not even the same vibration.
Right.
It doesn't even come in the, it's not even in my sphere. The chaos is not,
Yeah.
because I'm not even attracting that type of energy. I'm not even participating in that.
In
And
the
then if you
shenanigans.
are and you come into my presence, that's it's off, like immediately.
I'm going to give you that look.
Right?
Jasmine, would you write a book about your life, you think?
I don't know, because I just feel like I would have to do it without naming people. And also, like, I don't want to hurt or embarrass my parents because they're involved in, like, some of the,
A lot of your
That's how you
stuff.
got
some of my
here, yeah.
stuff. So I wouldn't want to expose them and embarrass them. You know what I mean? So I don't know how I could do that without them being upset.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of what we say about how things have to be like secretive and hidden when
It
it comes to
is, yeah.
family.
I don't know that if I had to do it again, I don't know. I mean, we did. I did. I mean, it's not everything ain't in the book.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff
yeah.
that like you just can't. And I don't know that I don't know if I would do it differently. I think that a lot of that dysfunction and a lot of the trauma in our family of origin, my book addressed that. It addressed a lot of that stuff that like nobody will talk about, that nobody will ever have a conversation about.
Yeah.
Right. And then like, in case in point, because like I've talked about a lot of things and nobody has said anything to me about it.
Wow. You
You know what I'm saying?
You just at Thanksgiving, like,
They
nobody.
just act like it didn't happen.
Right.
They just act like it didn't happen.
They
Right?
know
The book
they
didn't
read
happen.
it.
I mean, but there's a lot to it, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
you look at it as a public figure, and there's a whole bunch into
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Why
Yeah.
people wouldn't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and also won't say because they know that it's a lot of, they know they
true.
know what the truth is.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's true,
Right,
what you gonna say?
Right.
Yeah,
You
you,
know?
still could be. I mean, yeah, I
And they'll be
admire
upset about
that.
it,
Yeah,
right?
But they're not gonna say to you about it though.
I always
probably.
think that's just the hardest part when you think about how you don't want to hurt other people, but it's the truth.
Would you?
Yeah.
What about you? Would you write a book and share stuff about your life that is
Well,
tough?
I don't want to do it unless I could be honest, and I don't think at this point I can.
yeah.
But later on in life, I
But
feel
later
like
on
you
in
should
life,
still
That's the
follow
thing.
the
retirement
Right.
plan.
Yeah.
Every
Spill
time
the
somebody
tea.
does something, I'm like, that's gonna be in the book.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. No, I already had a name for it. I'll tell you off the air because I don't want
Okay.
nobody to take my idea. Just
Right,
like you
right,
don't
right,
want
right,
nobody
right.
to take
And
yours.
I'll tell you mine off the air too.
Understood.
What about you, Jordy Jor? Since
I'm kind of like Jasmine. I think my dad would have to be dead. As morbid as
Oh
that
my
sounds,
God.
like
That's
I think
what
he
I
should
mean.
be dead. I don't. There's certain things I don't want him to know about me. They
Right.
just aren't. And he wants me to write a book so bad. I'm like, well, you're never gonna read it.
yeah,
Sorry, this
And he
man.
definitely
you
would.
can't. Yeah.
Wow.
Not, the thing is, the way she said it, like he got to be dead, not passed on
And
or
she
no
done
longer
did
with
some
us.
shit.
He got to be dead.
Love you. You can read it from up
No
there.
way you can read that.
That's funny.
That's what I feel like. You can be completely honest though.
let me ask you this. Let's just say your kids, one of them had a diary. Would you read it if you were alone in the house and you're like, oh, what's diary? Would you want to?
Probably not.
Yeah, not a good
Yeah.
I
idea.
was to show what that
Not a good
answer was.
idea.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom went in my diary before when I was
Ooh,
a kid.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was devastated.
No wonder
like,
you ain't trying to write no book.
It's fictional.
I mean, that's not the way I was writing as a kid.
You just got to tell them
Yeah.
that it's not true. Now, one thing I have to say about your life, it feels like you've had angels that kind of step in and are like, okay, this is what we. Do you feel that? Like, do you feel like you've somehow? It just feels like, you know how you can say you're here for a purpose. It just feels like things happen or people come in your life, and if you accept it, it really does like change the trajectory.
Yeah. I don't know that I've seen it at the time, but in hindsight, yeah, there have been people who, but and that's one thing, you never know how what you say or how you interact with somebody can change the trajectory of their life. You don't even know. People have had conversations with me that changed my whole thing, and they don't even
I have no idea.
no. And the same is true for us. We talk to people, and like a light goes on, man, and it changed their whole. I think I think we all have that if we're paying, if you're paying attention, and you're ready to do the work, or you're ready to do whatever that thing is. Yeah, there've been people who, then they had, the guy who I thought when I got sober, the guy who I followed him to, we were in a treatment center, and he was my bunkie. There were probably 5 or 6 dudes sleeping in a room in this place, and he was getting sober, and he was getting them. I was coming off the streets. He was, had nice clothes. He was going back to school. He was starting to work again, and he was always had all this positive stuff to say. And I was envious. I was jealous of him. I was so jealous that I started following him around and found out what he was doing. And and his name was Ronald Clowney, and he changed, and he is a big reason that I'm sober today. And I had a chance to, on Facebook somewhere, he popped up, and I had a chance to sit down. I'm like, dude, and this is like, he didn't know, he knew that I was making music, but I hadn't talked to him in 25 years, and to tell him after 25 years, like, dude, the reason I'm sober is because of you.
You were my inspiration.
I hated you so much.
What do you mean you were following him around?
I was following him around. Yeah, I was doing I started doing the things that he was doing.
Okay.
Okay.
I started doing the things that he was doing, and he introduced me to more people who were doing the things, who were doing the same thing.
Okay.
And it changed everything.
Wow. What was his response to you telling him that?
He was grateful, and then he passed away like 30 days later.
Oh, so that's
I know. I'm glad you had a chance to at least let him know that.
Have that conversation with him. Wow.
There's so much shame for people when they have to go into a facility and get treatment.
Yeah.
I interviewed an artist once, and we discussed him getting sober, but behind the scenes, he was like, he tried to seem like he did it on his own, and then afterward, he was like, I really did go to rehab, but I just don't want people to know that.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Like being able to.
I don't care.
You don't care.
We need to save somebody's life.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
And rehab
too.
is not the right. And we got this thing where, like, you think, celebrities, we get in trouble and we go to rehab for 2 weeks and we come out and we cool. It's not that.
No, it's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's a lifetime of continuing to try to keep doing, the next right. There's a lot of work that has to be. You take a lifetime to get messed up. It takes time, and it takes work. You can't go someplace and get fixed and get cured. It's a good start. It's a place, it's a launching pad, but like, dude, you need to continue some type of support after you get out of that. It's a lifelong process, whatever it is. Whether you're talking about recovery from alcohol and drugs, you're talking about overeating, you talking about getting your finances, whatever it is, the principles for getting to the other side of it.
You pointed at me when you said overeating.
No, you know what?
No, I didn't do that.
So sick of her.
That ain't true.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna work on that. Thank you for your honesty.
Thank you for your honesty. It's a lifelong struggle for you, Angela.
So, Return to Love, that's the name of the new project.
No, that's just the theme of what we're. Yeah, that's the path.
Okay.
Why not call? Okay.
Why not call it what?
I mean, you could
call it what?
Return to Love. That.
Oh, an album?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a record in there somewhere. It's a great title, ain't it?
It is. That's what I'm saying.
One of my favorite books is called A Return to Love.
That's Marianne Williamson. Yeah. I know Marianne.
Remember, she was running for president.
Yep.
She's running for president. But Marianne used to run a church that I used to sing at called Renaissance Unity in Detroit. I started singing in a choir. She was the senior pastor.
I'll say the good thing about her running for president, it made a lot more people know about her.
Yeah.
Sometimes running for office is not necessarily about winning.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about also the recognition.
Raising your profile.
Yeah, raising your profile. And
Detroit got a lot of churches too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
so does
place, there's a
Brooklyn.
lot of churches everywhere.
Yeah.
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn we got a church on every corner.
Y'all do.
Brooklyn? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Brooklyn might have the most churches per square mile.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Not in DC.
Well, I just want to close this out with some advice for anybody who's listening. If you've ever thought that maybe you want KEM to perform at your wedding,
Yeah.
you should propose at one of his shows.
There
Wow.
you go.
Were you
Yeah.
inspired? I'm
It's-
sorry. Were you inspired by, you worked as a wedding singer at the Ritz-Carlton?
Yeah. Well, I worked at the Ritz-Carlton as a waiter.
And you sang at weddings?
But I sang,
there?
but I was I left the Ritz-Carlton and started singing
And started singing at
band.
weddings. Were you inspired by that to sing at your own wedding, or was it just purely you wanted to serenade your wife in that moment?
I wanted to serenade my wife in that moment.
How was being a wedding singer? That's a whole movie anyway.
Yeah.
It was, I learned how to perform singing at weddings,
Wow.
and I was making money doing what
Love to do.
I left my, I was making money making music.
There's nothing like when you go to a wedding and the band is good and the
Yeah.
singing is good and the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than a wedding where the music is terrible.
You're like, get me out of here.
Right.
Yes,
Oh,
because
And
I've
you
been
can't-
to
or
some
the
of
reception
those.
is bad. The
Yeah.
music's bad. The reception, you're like, oh gosh.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. But that must have been amazing. I wonder if people remember, KEM sang at our wedding,
Yeah.
back then. What a nice thing to
You're
have.
all-
Yeah, I
you're
don't
in the
think people.
footage.
Yeah, I don't.
They know it
yeah.
was
Put
you.
two and two
They
together.
wouldn't have known it was me.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
We need some of that footage.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. No, you no,
No, you
please, please, no.
You know, you went from singing at people's weddings to having wedding songs for
Right.
people
Yeah.
Yeah.
that they want to hear at their weddings.
they
That's,
walk down the
full
aisle
circle,
to-
full
that's
circle.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming through. I know this is a different type of show for you, but I was excited for you to be here.
Well, I'm glad that I came and this was good. I enjoyed it.
We
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me.
I feel good.
Yeah,
Next
yeah.
time we get nasty. No, I'm kidding.
This was the warm up.
now he's comfortable, guys.
Right.
Welcome
Next
on.
time. Right.
Do we have an album release date?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just-
I
you can
think
do it when you want.
26. We'll do it 26 sometime. We'll put an album together.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was an
Absolutely.
honor for
Yes,
real. Like,
absolutely.
Thank you.
truly the definition and epitome of longevity and class.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.